Hi everyone, welcome to your first guided notes for geometry. If you have not gotten a hard copy of the skeletal notes or have not been able to print out the skeletal notes, then I highly recommend that you pause this video and look at the attached skeletal notes and try to make your own template so that we can go through the examples in this video. It makes it a little bit easier for you. Or if you do not want to do that, just pause this video as necessary to try to get things jotted down as you go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with section 1.1, which is our foundation of geometry. We're going to be talking about specific geometric figures, but the important thing is being able to correctly identify and name these geometric figures. And we have a few other new definitions to add to our vocabulary. So here, let's go ahead and get started. Here we have an image of a football field. And you guys should have already watched the video that kind of talked about real life examples of points, lines, and planes. So hopefully this is not new material coming into your brain. But on the football field diagram, we have points that are representing the position or the spot where the players are on the field. The lines, the yard lines, though technically these would be line segments because they're not going on and on forever. And the plane would be the whole entire playing field. So what are our definitions of a point? Well, I would like you to write down that a point has no dimension. It's represented by a dot. Okay, you are not going to need to memorize these definitions, but you definitely need to know what the heck we're talking about when I say a point, line, or plane. When you go ahead and you make a drawing of a point, we just use a plain old simple dot. So I'll put a dot here in the middle. And we always identify each point usually by a letter from the alphabet. So here I'm going to use A. Now if I wanted to name this point, I would write out point A. As simple as that. Don't make it any more challenging. Next, let's jump to a line. So a line is represented by a line with two arrows. So it's represented by a line with two arrows on both ends, which is very, very, very important that you remember that. You need 2 points to make a line. So if I had to make a picture of what a line would look like, here is my line, 2 arrows on both ends. That means that it goes on and on and on and on and on and on forever. We can never physically measure a line because it has no stopping point. You need 2 points to make a line. So here is point A and here is point B. If I needed to name this line, this is what I would write. I would put those 2 points next to each other, A and B, and then I would put a line symbol above, which is exactly what we drew on the left. A line with 2 arrows on both ends. I could technically rearrange the order and call it line BA. It still would be the same exact line. And sometimes, in some cases in our textbook, you'll see a little lowercase italicized letter kind of hovering above one of the arrows of the line. Notice it does not have a dot attached to it, which is different than the A and the B. A and B has a dot attached to it. The M's just kind of hanging out up there. And if that occurs, then we can write out the word line and call it line M, or whatever the italicized letter is. Again, pause the video as needed to get through everything. Next, a plane. A plane is represented by a shape that looks like a floor. You need 3 points to make a plane. So unlike a line where you needed only 2 points to make a line, we need exactly 3 points. And those 3 points cannot be in a straight line to make a plane. So there are my 3 points. And then we kind of represent a plane. That was really bad. I went into the other side, but that's okay. By using a parallelogram. I can do better. Let's do better, Mrs. Crowley. That's a little better. There we go. Okay. So if I were to name those 3 points, let's say point A, B, and C, the way that I would name this plane is I would write out the word plane, and then I would do any combination of those three letters. So plane ABC, or it could be plane CAB, or it could be plane ACB, or whatever combination. Nope, CB, yep. Any other combination that we would want to make. Okay, so work your way through those. Sometimes you may see on a plane a capital letter, and usually it's kind of bolder than the point letters. But notice this letter M does not have a dot attached to it. So it's not a point, it's another way to represent that plane, and if that is the case, we can just call this plane plane M. Okay, so those are different options on ways to name that plane. You're going to have questions where it might say, can you name the plane 2 or 3 different ways? And you should be able to come up with all the different variations. Okay, so now we have special kinds of points that we need to cover. The first is what we call collinear points. Again, pause this video at any point in time if you need to get them jotted down. Collinear points are points that lie on the same line. So collinear, points that are on the same line. Coplanar points would be points that lie on the same plane. So points on the same plane, coplanar. Points on the same line, collinear. So for our first example, again, if you don't have this jotted down already, pause and make a representation of this example. You'll notice that right here we have dotted lines. We always use dotted lines in geometry to kind of show 3 dimensions. So it kind of makes it look like that line N is shooting through the flat plane. Okay, so it kind of helps us to go from the 2-dimensional world to the 3-dimensional world. So give 2 other names for line PQ and then plane R. So line PQ would be this line right here that I'm highlighting because that's where P and Q are both on the same line. So I could name it line, oops, we already did PQ, QP, switch up the order, that's probably the easiest one. Make sure I put that symbol with the line and the 2 arrows above. Or I can use that italicized N. Notice that N is not attached to any dots, so that's not a point. So I'm going to call it line N. That would be 2 different ways to name line PQ. Now let's name plane R 2 different ways. So notice down here is where we have our R. So this whole entire plane is plane R. So to name a plane, they already used the easy one of just using the 1 letter. So that means I need 3 points out of that plane. Well, I have S is in that plane, B is in the plane, P is in the plane, and T is in the plane. M is not a point. That's not a point. R is not a point. Doesn't have a dot. So I've got 4 points in the plane. They're highlighted as pink. Any combo of the 3 would be a correct answer. So I could do plane SPT, or I could do plane DSP, or plane PTV, or plane TVS. Any of those combinations would work. Okay, name 3 points that are collinear in that same diagram. So remember, collinear means on the same line. Well, here I have a line, but notice I only have 1, 2 points on that line. So collinear would be those 2 points, but I need 3. So we need to go to this line right here. So notice on that line M, we've got 3 points on that same line. So my 3 collinear points would be points S, comma, P, comma, T. And I'm going to put commas in between because I'm just listing the points. The second half of this question says, name 4 points that are coplanar. So here is my plane. Give me 4 points that are on that plane. Well, there technically are only 4 points on that plane, so let's name them all. So again, V, S, P, T. are all on that blue plane, plane R. So V, comma, S, comma, P, comma, T would be 4 points that are coplanar. Okay, they're all on that plane R. Very good. Okay, so now let's look at some specific type of things that can happen to a line. Our first is a line segment. A segment is a part of a line with endpoints. So for our drawing, here's my line segment with endpoints. There's point A, there's point B. Just like naming a line, I'm going to use the 2 letters that are the endpoints, and I'm going to put just a line, no arrows on top. And that would be your line segment. Or we can rearrange the order and call it line segment BA. A ray is a part of a line that only has one endpoint. So if I were to make a ray, here's one endpoint, and then it goes on and on and on forever in another direction. So let's name our endpoint A, and I'm going to put a second point on it just because we need that direction. I'm going to call it B. So to name it, it's going to be ray AB. Important, you always write the endpoint, I can spell endpoint first. Ray BA would be totally different than ray AB, so that's the only option we have. The A needs to be first. You cannot rearrange the order of the letters like you can in a line segment or a line. Opposite rays. Opposite rays are rays that are collinear and have the same endpoint. So here is a drawing of opposite rays. So here's ray AB. We'll go back to that one. Now if I make a ray going off in the opposite direction, let's call it ray AC, notice how those 3 points are all on the same line, and those 2 rays have opposite endpoints. So let's name that. So ray AB was the first ray that I drew. That was this one right here. And then ray AC was the second ray that I drew that went off in this direction. Notice how when I named both of them, they both start with the letter A, because opposite rays need to have the same endpoint. And what's true about naming rays, you always put the endpoint first. Okay, so here we go. For example, give another name for line segment GH. Well, the only other option would be to just flip-flop, oops, I'm in thick marker mode, the letters to HG, because notice G to H would be this line segment, so H to G would be the same line segment. We cannot use any other words because that would be totally different. Name all rays with endpoint J. All right, so endpoint J. So I have this ray right here. That would be ray JG. I have this ray right here. So that starts at J and then goes through E. I have the one that goes down this way, JH. And then I have the one that goes that way through F, JF. Out of all of those, which ones are the opposite rays? Well, JG would be opposite of JH. So we'll do some different colors. So JG and JH would be opposite rays. And then JE with JF. Does everybody see that? So ray JE and ray JF would also be opposite rays. Okay. All right, so that concludes our section 1.1 notes. Please go back and revisit anything that you feel that you need to revisit. Come into class with any questions tomorrow.